Welcome to 168. If you enjoy these videos, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and to follow us on Twitter. Here's Tyler with this week's meditation.
Have you ever given a gift to someone that they didn't really deserve the gift? Or, you let something slide with someone that you knew that they were in the wrong, but you still let it slide? Or maybe there is someone who you forgave. But you knew they weren't really sorry, and you knew that there was a good chance that they may hurt you again through what they said or what they did, or just the way that they treated you or somebody else, yet you still forgave them. When I was younger, every year for Valentine's Day, my grandma would give me and my brother and my sister a card. And in the card, there would be two $10 bills. And one of those $10 bills was for us, that we could spend it on whatever we wanted, and we could use that money to do with it what we wanted. The other $10 bill, though, she said, was for us to do something for somebody else, to give to somebody who had need. And it's somewhat of a confession time, maybe, but there were moments or years where I knew that me and my siblings didn't always use that second $10 for its intended purpose. Sometimes we would use that to get ourselves something or just to save. And I think on some level, my grandma was a sharp lady, and so I bet on some level she knew that we didn't always do with that money, or we weren't faithful with the intended purpose of that money. But still, year in and year out, she gave us that gift that we really didn't deserve. See, there's a story in the Gospel of Mark where Jesus is talking to some folks, and he's talking to them about religious leaders. And he's telling them to be careful. And in Mark 12, he mentions things like they love to walk around in their flowing robes, and they love their showy worship. They love for people to see how they pray these long prayers, and they love for people to see the way that they are so great and they're so holy. He says at the same time, they have this self-righteousness. And at the same time, they're supposed to be protecting these certain people. They're supposed to be caring for the widowed and the orphan and the oppressed. But he says that they exploit the very people that they're trying or supposed to protect. And so Jesus gives this warning against these religious leaders. And in the next breath, he talks about this widow. In the temple, they look to the other side of the temple, and there's this widow who brings her offering, who brings her gift of 2 coins. And Jesus says, look, all of these wealthy people are giving out of their abundance, but this woman gave out of her poverty. And I think on first glance, we see this story, and we think of this story as, wow, look at her generosity. And I think that's true to a level. If you've heard this story preached, it's probably when your pastor was trying to get people to give more to the church and raise their tithes and their offerings. But if we look at that gift from this widow was supposed to be protected by the religious leaders and by the temple. Yet her gift goes to fund the very people who are exploiting her. Like these 2 coins that she gives go to the temple, and they go to these religious leaders. They make these religious leaders even wealthier. And yet, these very same people that she's giving to are the people that are keeping her in her poverty and keeping her living this marginalized life. And so I think we hear this story, and when we understand it in the right context, we think, what about this is good? That this woman is being faithful and giving, yet this system is failing her. And not just failing her, but actively oppressing her. And ultimately, she's giving to this system which will be destroyed. So how is this a good news story? How is this gift any good? I think back to my grandma's gift to us and how little we deserved that gift because of how unfaithful we were with that gift some years. And yet, my grandma was consistent in her giving us good things even when we didn't deserve them. See, in Mark 12, in the 44th chapter, it says that she put in everything. she had to live on. And that word there, everything, in some translations it says she gave all. And the Greek word here is this word holos, which means whole or complete. And in this story, we see that this widow gave everything. She was all in. She gave the whole, complete offering, not holding anything back. And I think on some level, Jesus uses this story, and he lifts up this widow as the picture of what selfless living looks like. I think Jesus uses this widow, this outcast, this person who is so low in society, as a picture of who God is. A God who gives up everything. A God who gives every area of his life to people who don't deserve it, as a way of demonstrating love and mercy and grace. And so I think for us this week, the question that we can reflect on is how can I give up all of myself? Not to continue and perpetuate these systems of oppression, but how can I give up all of I am to fight for and stand with those who need people to stand with them, to come alongside of the people that are constantly being exploited? What would it look like in our life to give everything, to be all in, and to not hold anything back?